This is going to be a video about blurry textures and materials and mipmaps. Now mipmaps are essentially level of detail when it comes to textures and materials. It's there to improve or disimprove the image quality. It's there to speed up the rendering times and reduce the stress on your GPU or CPU. Now, mipmaps are essentially here to optimize your game and make sure that you can run a game and have really nice textures, and when you move further away from them, they're going to be sort of blurred out and not look as crisp. In my example, I'm using a really low resolution texture of 16 by 16 pixels. So in this example here, the mipmap is really just crushing my texture down, and it's not looking too well. So let me show you now. If you look in front of me, sort of above my head, you can see that the textures in front of me are not as crisp as those textures that are really close to me right here. So if I move forward, you can see that this is going to disappear. And if I move backwards, it's going to come back. My recommended way is to not disable the mipmaps at all. You want to keep them there, but you can actually improve the rendering quality through the material editor. So let me show you now first of all of how you can disable the mipmaps for this specific texture. Let me open the content browser right here. And as you can see now, if I open the texture for the log oak top, I can go ahead now and disable the mipgen settings by going to no mipmaps. And that is going to remove the mipmaps, as you can see right now. Maybe it's hard to see, but you can actually see it flickering a bit, and that's not really what we're looking for. It's actually quite annoying to just see that. So instead of removing the mipmaps, what we can do is to actually control on how close they should be or how far away they should be. So if I go ahead now and bring up the material that we're going to be using here in this case, I'm using a master material, and in here is the wood texture. And here's the instance of that texture. So what I did was I selected my texture parameter, went down to the mip value mode, and changed this to something that's called mip bias. I then added a constant and plugged that into the bias and made this into a parameter, so I can actually control this through my material instance. In the material instance, I can actually find the mip level. And as you can see now, if I move this up, the blurriness is moving closer to me. If I set this to like 3, and you see it's really close to me now. So whenever I look around, it's just right there. So what we want to do now in this example is to go ahead and set this value to something of -4. Maybe -2 could work. What you can also do is to go to Edit, Project Settings. In here, you want to go ahead and go down until you find Rendering. And down here, you can find something that is called Temporal AA under Anti-Aliasing method in the default settings. If you change this to MSAA, you'll get a better result. So let me show you that now. If I move this off the screen, if I move this off the screen as well, if I'm now setting, you can see the flickering there in the background. If I now set this to MSAA, the flickering will stop and it looks a lot better. Alright, I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon.